Now you're watching Mamlaka Breakfast, and this is the state of the nation. My name is Daniel Kihoro, and as I told you earlier today, I'm having here my guest of today, whereby we're going to discuss the matters politics, and my guest of today is called Ben Kihanya, who is the current vice chair Jubilee Party Nakuru County. I remember in the year 2002 he was part of those presidential campaigners, and 2010 he became the coordinator committee expert to review the Kenyan Constitution, and today he's the vice chair Jubilee Party. Thank you so much for keeping time with us, Mr. Ben. And a few days, that is 3 days ago, President William Samoei Ruto and his deputy, together with some members from Jubilee Party, they had a meeting in State House of Nakuru County, and due to that meeting, you guys had your own meeting, which is 3 days ago. Before we enter there, labda tunaomba kwanza the first time ujitambulishe na uwasalimu watazamaji wetu.
Okay. Kwa majina mimi naitwa Ben Kihanya, kaimu mwenyekiti Jubilee Party hapa Nakuru County. Ni mtetezi wa haki za kibinadamu na pia mkereketwa katika uongozi bora wa nchi yetu na mzalendo wa nchi hii, mfanyabiashara hapa Nakuru County.
Okay. As we start today, our viewers, remember, you keep tweeting at Mamlaka Television at Daniel Kihoro. The hashtag is Mamlaka Breakfast, and the topic of today is the state of Nakuru and the state of the nation. My name is Daniel Kihoro. Stay with us until the end. As we start, remember, Jubilee Party is among those parties that has led Kenyans during the tenure of the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Jubilee Party started or was formed on 7th September 2016 till 13th September 2022, and it was formed by the current president and the former president. That was the former president had TNA, remember that time, and the current president had it was called URP. Then they formed the Jubilee Party. Jubilee, from the word Jubilee inamaanisha ushindi, and remember those people, they had that issues of the Hague. That was the year 2016 there. They became with the Jubilee Party until the year 2022, whereby there was some split between the former president Uhuru Kenyatta and the current president William Samoei Ruto. Wakati tunaanza tu hivi, tukiongelea kwanza, unafikiria ni tatizo gani lilitokea baina ya the former president Uhuru Kenyatta and the current president William Samoei Ruto, so that kukaanza kukuwa na hiyo split in the Jubilee Party?
Okay. It was in public domain that the former president Uhuru Kenyatta wanted faster growth in his second term, having experienced a lot of slow growth in his first term. And the deputy president then was campaigning to be the president for this term. Okay. So there was a clash of ideals between what was working, or what the president wanted to work, and what the deputy president wanted. Okay. And at one time the president even came out clearly and said, you know, it's not working because I am busy trying to make the economy, to make this country move forward, and my deputy is busy campaigning for 2022. So, and that's where the term Tanga-Tanga came from. Mr.
Ben, if you're saying that, okay, do you think that was the reason why deputy president, the current president and the former president split over Jubilee Party?
There are also other issues of corruption. Okay. Issues of, can we say...
When you talk about corruption, who was corrupt that time?
At that particular time, it was evident. The president came and fired almost about 10 CSAs. Do you remember?
Okay, I remember President removing some those people who are allies of the former president William Samoei Ruto. But William Samoei Ruto says that haikukuwa issue ya kwamba walikuwa corrupt, bali ilikuwa tu anajaribu kuwatoa kwa sababu walikuwa wanamuunga mkono. Do you remember that time?
Yeah, I remember that time. But it was evident because the president came up with evidence that go to court, if you are cleared, come back. If you are not, then you face the consequences. So there was also ideological differences between fighting corruption or not fighting corruption, with the current president saying corruption does not prevent a country from moving forward. Okay. You remember? Yeah. So there was a clash of ideas how to run the country. We lose a third of our GDP to corruption. It means every 3 years we lose 1 year. So if you are going for, let's say, a term of 10 years, we already lost 3 years of all the money that we earn as a country. So corruption is such a big problem in Kenya. So when you say that corruption is really nothing, actually there will be a clash of idea between another person who thinks that we cannot continue losing a year out of every 5 years. Yeah. So there was a clash of ideas. And even today, we in Jubilee believes that corruption is one of the biggest threats to Kenya.
Okay.
And the current regime believes corruption can coexist with good governance.
Okay.
That is our biggest problem with the Kenya Kwanza government.
Okay.
What they consider to be very important and what we consider to be very important is very different. For instance, we consider corruption to be a very big threat. But when His Excellency consider that corruption can coexist with the development at Jubilee, we wonder how that can actually pan out.
Okay.
And we are waiting. We are waiting because now the administration is only 1 year and a half. We would want to see how corruption and good governance can coexist. Yeah, because he's on record as having said, but corruption cannot prevent development.
But when you're talking about corruption, I don't know who you're referring to, because
we are talking about official corruption, official government corruption.
I remember the other day President William Samoei Ruto said that he's going to fight corruption in Kenya.
And that is changing. He's changing from what he said. He is on record having told us that, you know, we should not put a lot of effort in fighting corruption because corruption does not prevent development. So when again he says that he's fighting corruption, the same corruption when it was being fought by the former president, he considered it a small matter. You know, it is very hard to praise the president, what he says and how he acts.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you say that, you know, you need to have references on what you are saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Ben.
I am referring to the former president, the current president, having said it is in public domain that corruption does not prevent development.
Okay.
If you wanted us to come with a script, we could send you.
Let me agree with you. 11 months ago, more than 30 Jubilee's MPs, they said that they are ready to work with the current government, and they said that wanna put kando their nini, okay, maswala kisiasa kando, alafu they are working with the government. And the other day, 4 days ago, you guys had a meeting. It was that Thursday morning, whereby, okay, let me talk first from the Jubilee meeting, whereby more than 100 MCs from Jubilee Party, they had a meeting led by Yala MP, that is Kanini Kega. They had a meeting with the President William Samoei Ruto, and after that mkakuja na meeting yenyu mkaanza ku criticize. Okay, do you think that it is right for you to do that? Because I think those people, they are trying to work with the government so that to bring the development to the...
How do you work with the government to bring development? Where is that development that you're working to go get in State House? Let me tell you, Bwana Kioro,
yes,
that Article 10 is very clear. How is Kenya crafted? Kenya is a multi-party democracy. And I spent a big chunk of my youth trying to fight that Kenya becomes a multi-party democracy so that you can choose whatever party that you want to belong to. So when an MP or an MCA or a senator or a women rep is voted on one party ticket, remember, politics is competition of ideas. You are competing, you are bringing your ideas to the political market, to the electorate. Who are the people, who are the bosses? So they can say, we want a president of this party, but we also want an MP of this different party. So, and there's a formula for you to cross over to the other party. You resign, you seek fresh mandate from the people, and then you go to the other party. So, when you go through the back door, as the president is attempting to do, that is cannibalization of institution of governance. That is political party. You want to fight political party through the back door. You enticing, as you are putting it, you are bringing development, meaning you've held development, and I can only give you that development if you agree with me. No, we are all taxpayers. I can belong to any party. I can even choose not to belong to any party. I can be political. I can choose to be apolitical, meaning there is no one point as a Kenyan where you can deny me development.
Okay, Mr. Ben, I agree with you, but allow me to quote Miss Sabina Chege.
Yep.
She said that I'm convinced that when you work together with the executive, we know this country will go far. I think that was my question.
That is, and that is, I'm just saying for lack of better word, that is the worst form of governance. Because remember, we have 3 arms of government. We have the executive, we have the judiciary, and we have the legislature. And there is no one point where one arm of government is supposed to bow to the other. Because that separation of powers is what drives our democracy. That parliament is supposed to check the executive. The moment parliament becomes,
Mr. Ben, kidogo tu tutarejea hapo naarifiwa
the moment parliament becomes a part of the executive.
Tutarejea hapo naarifiwa na mwelekezo wangu ya kwamba tunafaa kuingia madukani. Mtazamaji, tunaelekea madukani ila tunarejea muda usio mrefu kutoka sasa. Wacha tuingie kwanza madukani alafu tunarejea.
Are you ready to make your dreams of owning the perfect piece of land a reality? Look no further than S-Line Enterprises, your trusted partner in property management and land sales. Nestled in the heart of Nakuru's Dondori Road, just 15 kilometers away from the bustling Nakuru city center, at only 1.29 million shillings, our Lanet Danger project is located less than a kilometer from Danger Center in a serene environment with beautiful blue gum forest cover. At only 995,000 shillings, our Shawa Gisheha project is a haven of tranquility, located just 2 kilometers away from Sobea Center, 700 meters off the Nakuru Eldoret Highway, bearing a touch of nature and lush green gardens with amenities in close proximity. As Nakuru's growth continues, so does the value of your land. Our strategic locations on the major highway ensure that you're not just buying a plot, you're investing in a brighter tomorrow. For more information, visit our offices on the 5th floor of Highway Towers, Nakuru, room 502A and B. Call Joseph on 0723 711 074 or Naftali on 0725 386 209. Email mberejoseph08@gmail.com to begin your ownership journey today. S-Line Enterprises.
It's just the same way. If you declare today,
My guest of today, Mr. Ben Kihanya, who is the deputy of Jubilee Party, Nakuru County, and we are discussing matters politics. As before we go for the advert, we were talking about the Jubilee Party, yes. And you are saying that it is not good for the. Okay, remember President William Samoei Ruto said that his role is to unite all Kenyans for the benefit of the people. But you are saying that it is not good for the Jubilee Party to work together with the government. You're saying that you guys are in position. Okay,
we are in the opposition.
I know that, but
and proudly so.
But for the benefit of the citizen or for the benefit of the Kenyans.
Yes.
Is it good for the opposition to work together?
No, because they are competitors. You don't work with your competitor. You compete with them. You come up with a superior ideas. You come out and check where the government is going wrong. But when you buy the opposition, you go back to single party system where the president now become the king, a kind of person, as you are saying, who will decide whether he will give you development or not. It is the role of opposition parties to play the role of opposition and that of government to rule. So it is very different. It is very different when you are in the opposition and when you are in government. So that line, it's a clear line, a clear divide between the roles of the opposition and the roles of those in government. Okay. So the moment you laid those in the opposition, what you are trying to do is to kill democracy. Let me give you an example. When we went in after the election, the Azimio was 7 above Kenya Kwanza in parliament. The majority MPs in parliament actually voted on an Azimio platform. But when the president or the KK buys from the opposition, what you are left with is something weak, something that cannot oppose the government effectively. That's what we are fighting against. Okay. That's what we are saying.
I know.
If you are voted with KK, stay with KK. If you are voted Azimio, stay Azimio. And should you feel that you want to cross over, do the proper thing. Resign, seek fresh mandate, and then cross over. Simple.
Okay, Mr. Ben, I know very well that the role of the opposition is to oversee and to
check the government.
But I want you to get me. I want you to get my point very clear.
Let me try.
Okay, I'm saying this. You know, you might be in the opposition, but you have some issues that you want to raise it to the current government.
Yeah.
I think these MPs and the MCAs that they had a meeting with President William Samoei Ruto the other day.
Yeah.
They were just raising their issues. That
what are those issues?
This does not mean that they are not the Jubilee members.
What are those issues? Because we have proper institutions. We have a parliament. They have county governments at their places where they come from. So you are telling me that if I want development, if I want a road being built in my village, I have to go to the presidency? That's what we killed in 2010. Because in 2010, the presidency was imperial. It meant the president would decide whether you get more. You used to say it clearly, siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. If you refuse to vote KANU, then you say there is no development in your area. That's what we killed, and we said the people are supreme. The people, not politicians, not political parties, not the president, not anything. The people. It means there is no way you are going to tell me I must go condole to the president for me to be given development. There is no development the president gives. That one is the preserve of parliament through budgeting. So there's nothing you get from the president apart from handouts. If you were telling me that you want to go to State House because there will be handouts, that is clear. That one is understood. There is no development you can get from State House nowadays. Yeah, all development comes from parliament, from budgeting. Okay. And there's nothing extra you can get because you visited State House. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless that is official, is another way of official corruption.
Okay, that's okay. During the press that you had with Assumpta Wankoi, you said this, and I will quote, ni aibu kwa rais kununua viongozi ili wamuunge mkono katika mada ambazo hazifanyi kazi. Can you explain this? What was
There's nothing which is working. I mean, you just said that fuel was reduced by 5 shillings. But in the international market, it's the oil or fuel is supposed to cost 150. What is the cost in Kenya? Today, it has been reduced by 5 shillings. What is the cost? You get? There's 50 shillings which is unexplained. The fuel in the international market at the fuel price, at the pump price is supposed to be 150. Now it is costing above 200. Therefore, we would want to know this 50, what is it for? We would want to know electricity. There is rainfall. So the turbines are being turned by the rain. God has given us rain. Why are we raising the price of electricity? Or have you not bought electricity of late? Yeah. It is up from last week. And these are the point of where we ought to be fighting the dollar. The biggest threat to Kenyans today is the sliding of the Kenyan shilling against the dollar. It is now at 163. Do you know what? When it goes to 164, the debt that we owe the international lenders will be 9 billion more. So where would you spend a lot of your energy? Fighting the Kenyan shilling or fighting courts, fighting the opposition, fighting vijana wa Mungiki? Where would you actually now put a lot of your effort? That's why I'm saying for policies that are not working. It's not just working. It's not just working. The shilling is now at 163. Okay. If it goes to 164, the Kenyan debt will rise by 9 billion Kenyan shilling. Tell me how it is working. Just tell me. And if you call me here next week, the shilling will not be at 163. I'm sure it will be trading maybe at 165 or by other figures. And every time it rises by a shilling, you actually now owe the international lenders 9 billion more. That's why I'm saying it's not working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr.
Or tell me what is working. Tell me whether it is working. How many jobs have been created?
Okay, Mr. Ben, uko na pointi na kwa kweli kama viongozi ambao wanatusikiza najua wanatusikiza vyema kabisa na watarekebisha hapa. Okay, as we continue, during that press I had Madam Assumpta Ongoi, who is Mama County Jubilee Party Nakuru County. She was saying that the Anne Teritu, who is the officer of register of political parties in Kenya, she was saying that she's not playing her role well. Okay, do you think that Anne Teritu is a fail?
Yeah, she's playing politics. The court ruled that the Jubilee Party's leadership is Kioni as the Secretary General, Uhuru Kenyatta the party leader. There's a ruling. There's a court ruling towards that effect. But today, they are there pretending they are Jubilee party leaders and Secretary General, something like that. So what can be more insulting when somebody purports to represent you and is obviously on the other side? That's what you are saying. Killing of institutions. You've killed parliament. You are now busy fighting the courts. You want to fight the courts? What do you want to be? A dictator. Because only dictators operate in situations where there are no institutions.
Nafikiri tutakuja hapo pia kwenye sehemu ya pili. Ila kwa sasa tulikuwa nataka unijibu swali ya una feel ni kama Anne Teritu hafanyi kazi yake vizuri.
Hafanyi kazi yake vizuri kwa sababu koti zetu zimeagiza ya kwamba chama cha Jubilee, mkubwa wa chama cha Jubilee ni Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Katibu ni Jeremiah Kioni. Sasa Sabina ni nani? Na Kanini Kega ni nani? Hatuwezi kuwa na chama kimoja ambacho kina viongozi wawili. Inawezekanaje? Leo hii nikianza kusema kwamba katika utawala wa KK kuna katibu mwingine na kuna kiongozi kinara mwingine, itakuwaje katika nchi? Kwa hivyo tunaposema mambo haya, tunasema bayana ya kwamba rais na wale ambao wako katika nyadhifa ambao zinaangalia mambo haya lazima aondoe mikono yake kutoka hapo, ili ya kwamba vyama vya upinzani vikapata nafasi ya kufanya kazi yao bila kuingiliwa, bila kusurutishwa kujiunga naye katika mada zake ambazo hazifanyi kazi Kenya. Hivyo ni that is very clear.
Okay, talking about the killing of political parties, the same day you had Raymond Ntalo, who is the civil educator in Nakuru County, and I will quote him. He said that rais wacha kuua political party, heshimu political party, heshimu katiba. Do you think that this person is right?
Yeah, the constitution is the constitution that says we have a government, we have an opposition. The moment you buy off or you whatever you do with the opposition and they cross over to you, you've killed multi-party democracy.
Mr. Ben, do you think you're the one who you are killing your own party and not the president?
No. Who is Kanini Kega? I'm asking you. Who is Sabina Chege? I'm asking you. So when they purport that they are taking Jubilee elected members of parliament to State House, who are they? They are just hawkers of political influence. They are not the party leader. There is no NDC that say they are our party leaders. If they want to be party leaders, you present yourself to the NDC. We had one recently. Were they there? No. So these are just hawkers of political influence to cause confusion, to show that the opposition is not organized. It cannot be organized. That is not the position. The position that I stand here and say as the opposition, we can point out all the failures of this regime. It is only 1 year old. They have borrowed more in 1 year than any other regime that has ever existed in Kenya. They have borrowed 3 trillion in 1 year. They have repaid only 2 trillion, and we don't know where 1 trillion is. Those are the questions that we should be asking at the opposition.
Na ndio maana nakuuliza tu swali rahisi.
Uliza.
Acha nikuulize na Kiswahili, usiseme hujanielewa vyema. Nauliza hivi. Unadhani ni nyinyi wenyewe mnaua chama chenyu cha Jubilee? Sasa nimalizie swali langu. Ama ni wanaoua chama cha Jubilee? Kwa sababu nitatumia mfano. Kama unasema kwa mfano Sabina Chege ni mhusika mkubwa, Kanini Kega ni mhusika mkubwa. Kumbuka mwaka 2020 kabla ya uchaguzi, Sabina Chege na Kanini Kega walikuwa miongoni mwa wale ambao kule walikuwa wanakipigania na chama chenyu cha Jubilee. Ile kwa sasa unawapata hawafanyi kazi na chama cha Jubilee. Ndio maana swali langu nauliza, unafikiria ni nyinyi wenyewe mnaua chama chenu ama ni wanaua chama?
La hasha, kuna asasi za uongozi, asasi za serikali ambayo tukiona ya kwamba wewe hauko pamoja na sisi, tunakutaja, we name you, we say so and so is no longer working with us. We've done that. We've said Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege are not part and parcel of the Jubilee Party. We've actually excoriated them. We've actually now said we have nothing to do with them. And then the president takes them and say, no, these are your members. That's what the problem is. They are not. These are not our members anymore. They are just hawkers of political influence. We want to fire them. And then the Register of Political Party refuses. But the courts have ruled and said these are no longer members of the Jubilee Political Party. So that's where the problem is. Between the courts and the Register of Political Party, who should actually rule in case of any conflict? That is also another issue. And that is why this government wants to fight the courts. Because by fighting the courts, if there is any conflict, there is no other arena where you can resolve your matter amicably. And that is where the problem is.
Okay. What do you think Anne Nderitu, who is the officer of Register of Political Parties in Kenya, has to do so that to ensure this conflict of interest is not happening?
We are taking her to court. We are saying, do your job. Remove your hands from political party affairs. Because the courts, once the courts rule, we are a country governed by the rule of law. Ruto today is president, courtesy of a court order. The court order that Ruto is president. We didn't recognize that at first. But once the court said Ruto is president, we say we respect the courts. And we accept that he's president today. So the moment there's a court order that says Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega are no longer part of the Jubilee Party, we should respect that too. Okay. You cannot cherry pick what works for you and what does not work for you.
Okay.
You respect the rule of law as it is from a neutral perspective. Once the court rule one way, you obey. Your work is to obey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've seen increasingly demonization of our courts, our judicial systems, our way of life. And that, therefore, we are saying we will not allow this country to slide back to dictatorship.
Okay.
We will not allow the president, Ruto, to be a dictator, to be a constitutional dictator.
Okay. Mr. Ben, before we go for the break, I have this last one question. The other time during your press, you say, I saw you giving those people who attended the meeting with President William Samoei Ruto, you gave them a yellow card. Which action have you taken to them so far before the red card? Yeah,
we've talked with them. We've called them to come, especially those ones who are from Nakuru, to come and show cause why we should not take action against them. And we also respect the rule. Why we gave them a yellow card and not a red card is because 2 years have not lapsed. If 2 years lapses today, we are going to give them a red card by taking signatures from their voters and casting a vote of no confidence. So it's not that we've stopped. It's just a process. It's a political process within our laws and the constitution. Okay. And we are going to abide by those. Okay. We are a party that abides by the law and the constitution. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ben, and thank you so much, our viewers today. Remember, it is 9:38, and I'm having here my guest, Ben Kihanya, who is the Vice Chair, Jubilee Party, Nakuru County, and we are coming back in a short while, whereby we'll be discussing matters now politics worldwide. Now tutakuwa tunazungumzia nationwide and worldwide. No, remember, we are having issues with the Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya political leader Raila Amolo Odinga, and also the conflict of interest between the judiciary and the executive. Tunarudi muda usio mrefu, usiende mbali mtazamaji.
Step into a world of beauty and elegance, where we bring you the latest and trendiest beauty products and equipment that cater to your every need. From luxurious skincare essentials infused with natural African ingredients to a wide array of makeup products that celebrate the diverse beauty of East Africa, we have it all. At East Africa Cosmetics, we understand that beauty comes from within. That's why we also offer a hand-picked selection of holistic wellness products to nourish your body and soul. With our state-of-the-art beauty equipment, you can now bring the salon experience to the comfort of your own home. Discover top-of-the-line hair dryers, beauty tools, and grooming essentials that will leave you looking and feeling your best. Whether you're a makeup enthusiast, a skincare devotee, or a salon professional, East Africa Cosmetics is here to support your beauty journey every step of the way. But wait, there's more. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff is always ready to assist you in finding the perfect products tailored to your unique style and preferences. So, why wait? Visit us today at Jala Plaza Nakuru, Gusii Road adjacent to Kenyatta Avenue on your way to Tidy's Hotel, or Carnation Building along Mosque Road opposite Showmut Plaza. Call us on 0721 340 643. Visit our social media platforms, East Africa Cosmetics. And let East Africa Cosmetics be your trusted partner in beauty and wellness. East Africa Cosmetics, where East Africa's beauty comes to life.
And this is Mamlaka Breakfast. My name is Daniel Kihoro, and you are watching the State of the Nation, whereby today we are discussing matters politics, and I'm having here my guest of today, Ben Kihanya, the Vice Chair, Jubilee Party, Nakuru County. The other time we were discussing about the Jubilee Party, and now I want us to discuss about politics of the nation, or the State of the Nation. But before that, do you think, okay, is Jubilee Party still alive or is dead?
Jubilee Party is alive and kicking. And that is why we are discussing. We are discussing about the health of Jubilee Party as one of the biggest opposition party, the third largest opposition party, or the largest party in parliament.
Okay.
So Jubilee Party is alive.
That is Ben Kihanya.
But led by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the Secretary General is Jeremiah Kioni.
Okay. I keep tweeting at Mamlaka Television, at Daniel Kihoro Kenya. Hashtag is the daily breakfast. The State of the Nation is the topic of the day. Mr. Ben Kihanya, I want us now to move into to these issues whereby we are having the conflict of interest between the executive and the judiciary. How can you say about that, or how can you talk about it?
Want to see whenever somebody wants to be a dictator, you kill institutions that checks you.
When you say somebody has, okay,
you want
somebody,
to say anybody.
okay, you're saying that somebody is a dictator.
Yes,
who are you referring to?
We are saying whenever you want to be a dictator, you begin by killing institutions of governance.
That's why I'm asking you, because I'm very sure you're referring to somebody. Who are you referring to?
I'm just saying,
okay,
if I wanted to be a dictator,
okay,
if I'm the president of a republic like Kenya, the first thing is to kill institutions
okay,
that checks me. And we've seen that happen in Kenya. We've seen parliament have been muzzled. Parliament is no longer that parliament you expect anything to happen, because they can pass about anything. We passed the finance bill against all wisdom, against all other wisdom from the people, and said this is not gonna work. But parliament was bought. What did they do? They rubber stamped that finance bill. What has been the effect? The effect has been the price of oil has gone up. The cost of living is escalating per day. We said it and it happened. But since we have a parliament that is not working for us.
Okay, before you continue, I've been told that you're having an issue with your microphone, and before that, I think to end a break, then we'll be back in a few. tafadhali naomba uendelee.
Ya, nilikuwa nikisema kwamba tusome katiba katika kipengele cha 10 ambayo kinaeleza Kenya ni nchi gani. Na katika Kenya tunaelezwa kwamba Kenya ni multi-party democracy. Tunaelezwa ya kwamba pia Kenya ni taifa ambalo linaheshimu mamlaka ya 3 arms of government na pia kinaheshimu sheria. Hiyo ndio ile kipengele ambao huwa kinaongea kuhusu uongozi wa Kenya. Sasa wakati ambapo unaona kwamba urais unapigana na mahakama, kwa sababu kama wiki mbili hivi rais amekuwa kwa kila kituo akipigana na mahakama, ni kusema ya kwamba kuna hila na njama ya kuweza kugandamiza vyombo vya utawala ikiweko bunge, alafu sasa mahakama. Na ikiwa hivyo basi mtu huachwa akiwa dikteta. Sasa sisi katika Jubilee tunasema heshimu mahakama, wachilia bunge iwe huru, fanya kazi kama vile ambavyo viongozi wengine wamefanya. Bwana Kibaki alifanya, Bwana Uhuru Kenyatta amefanya. Sasa wewe ni nani ambao uje na uongozi ambao hatuelewi? Hatujaona mtu yoyote ambaye anasimama na kuanza kusema kwamba mahakama ni bandia, mahakama ina ufisadi, na mahakama yale ndio aliyokutangaza wewe kuwa rais. Sasa tunapokuwa na maswali yao tunajiuliza, na tena hautupatii mbadala. Tukiondoa mahakama, sisi wote tuwe hatutatii mahakama, tuwe kwamba hatutaheshimu mahakama. Sasa hujatupatia kitu kingine tofauti cha kuwa kwamba ni kuwa na tofauti na wewe, tutaenda wapi? Haujatupatia kitu kingine tofauti ya kwamba urais ukikosana na bunge wataenda wapi? Kwa hivyo hayo ndio maswali magumu ambayo tunakinzana nayo kama chama.
Yes, but according to President William Samoei Ruto, he said that those judges were corrupt.
He should read Article 159 and Article 160. He should read that. He should also know that there are ways and mechanisms of removing a judge. If a judge is corrupt, you go to the GSC. It is hard in open court. And then we decide. We've done that before. We've actually fired judges from the bench. We've done that before. It's not something new. But you cannot blanket and say, since an order has been given against you, against your pet project. When Uhuru Kenyatta, a court ruling came that BBI is unconstitutional, he stopped it. When the court says the housing project of the pet project of Mheshimiwa Rais, that it is unconstitutional, he should stop it. You cannot force down. You cannot work against the law and the constitution and say you are implementing project by force. Whenever something has been declared unconstitutional, it is null and void. It does not exist anymore. It's not there. So we are saying heshimu mahakama. Simple.
Okay, but according to him, I think he's the one who appointed them, and I think according to him,
he's not the one who appoints them.
According to him, he's saying that those people are an obstacle to his leadership. Do you think it's right for him to claim that?
That's what we are saying precisely. We are saying precisely he does not appoint them. They are recruited by the GSC. The only thing he does is through the Republic of Kenya now gives them, you know, the authority to go and preside as judges. Okay. Otherwise, it is a separate institution. The judiciary is a separate institution from the executive. Ministers he can fire. They are his, you know, his appointees. Okay. But judges he cannot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got your point, and shukran sana, Mr. Ben. I want us to discuss these matters of Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the current opposition leader. During his visit to Anglican, or speaking during the St. Stephen's Anglican Church in Kisumu County, he criticized the church, saying that the church are giving platform to those people who are lying to Kenyans. I think he was referring to the current president, William Samoei Ruto. Okay, how can you say about this?
I would say that the church has a role to play. The church is a neutral arbiter. The church is where opposition leaders and government leaders ought to come. The church is a platform where decorum ought to be practiced. Where if you are not telling the truth, you are called there. But increasingly, when the church leans toward either the opposition or the government, it ceases being a neutral arbiter.
Okay.
It becomes a political platform. That is the failure that we are talking about. We are saying the church should be neutral. The church should play a role in our body politics, but from a neutral perspective.
Okay. I was talking with my co-host in the morning, that is Mr. Derek Nyongesa, and we were saying that nowadays each Sunday we must have some news, because those politicians wanaenda pale kwenye makanisa na ukifika kwenye makanisa wanaendeleza zaidi mambo ya kipolitics zaidi hata kushinda kwenda kuabudu. Sasa swali langu kwako ni je, viongozi wetu wanafaa ukienda makanisani tu waabudu na kuondoka, ama vile wanaendeleza mambo ya kisiasa inafaa bado
waabudu na kuondoka? Kwa sababu kanisa, mada ya kanisa ni ile kurekebisha ama kuleta pamoja waumini. Watu wajakuja kanisani kwa sababu wanataka siasa.
Okay.
Watu wanapotaka siasa waende kwenye mikutano ya siasa. Wanapotaka mambo ya kiroho waje kanisani. Lakini anapokuja apewe heshima yake kama kiongozi. Lakini anapopewa ile pulpit, anatolea maneno hapo, maneno ya chuki, maneno ya fitina, maneno ambayo si sawa. Wewe uone hiyo ni kudharau mamlaka ya Mungu pale kwenye pulpit. Tunasema kwamba the pulpit is not a political podium. The pulpit is something holy, something to be respected by all and sundry. Kwa hivyo hata akija pulpit pewa heshima yake. Naam.
Haya, kwa hivyo kwa kweli viongozi wetu wamesikia, na najua kwamba kwa kweli ni kauli nzuri ambayo ameitoa Mr. Ben, na anasema kwamba viongozi wakifika kwenye makanisa tafadhali waende waabudu na waondoke. Mambo ya kufika kwenye makanisa na wanaanza siasa si jambo nzuri zaidi. Mimi nafahamika kama Daniel Kihoro, na hapa studioni naye mgeni wangu ambaye anafahamika kama Ben, ambaye kwa kweli itakumbuka yeye ni naibu mwenyekiti kwenye chama cha Jubilee, na kwa kweli juzi ama wiki iliyopita wamekuwa na press na wamezungumzia mambo mengi zaidi kuhusiana na masuala ya Jubilee Party. Tukimalizia nataka tu nikuulize hili swali. Rais William Samoei Ruto alisema ya kwamba yeye kwa kweli anatumia ile mfumo ya kusema kwamba anatumia long term. Sasa hivi alisema yeye kama kiongozi hataki kuweka madeni mengi zaidi kwenye taifa letu la Kenya. Na alikuwa anasema kwa kile ushuru ambaye anaicollect, shilingi 3 inaenda kwa kujenga taifa, ila shilingi 7 yanalipa madeni. Kulingana na wewe, je, unaona chenye Rais William Samoei Ruto anasema ni ukweli? Na baada ya muda usio mrefu kutoka sasa, je, kauli hiyo mambo ambayo anafanya ataweza kusaidia taifa?
Si kweli. Kwa wale wasomi uchumi, unajua ya kwamba unapoweka tax mingi sana, ushuru mwingi sana kwa watu, uchumi haukui. Kwa mfano, kampuni ngapi zimefungwa tangu mambo ya ushuru iwe ndio kipawa mbele katika taifa letu? Ni watu wangapi wameenda nyumbani kwa sababu makampuni imefungwa?
Kabla haujaendelea alisema hivi ya kwamba kama taifa tutakuwa tunatumia madeni, taifa haliwezi likajiendelea. Akasema ni vyema kabisa kama taifa tutaweza kujitegemea.
Hakuna taifa ambalo halitumii deni. Mfumo wa public finance ni ya kwamba unaanza na deni. Kwa sababu unaposema bajeti yetu ni trilioni 3, hauna hizo trilioni 3, hiyo ni deni. Hiyo ni deni. Unasema tutatoa tax. Hebu nikujuze vile ambavyo mambo huwa tunaanza utawala kwa kuhesabu watu. Hatuhesabu watu kama mbuzi. Tunahesabu watu tukisema madereva ni wangapi, walimu ni wangapi, wakulima ni wangapi, ili ya kwamba tunarudi tunaketi chini. Tunasema ikiwa walimu wameongezeka na tunaweza weka tax hapo, ama madereva ni hawa na tunaweza weka hapo tax. Kwa hivyo GDP yetu inaweza kuwa hivi. Kwa hivyo mambo yote ya public finance inaanza na deni, na hiyo ndio uongo mkubwa ambao serikali ya Kenya Kwanza inadanganya wa Kenya. Hakuna serikali chini ya ardhi ambayo yaanzi na deni. Na ndio tunasema estimates, si pesa unazo. Na hata ukimfuata basi, si yeye basi anatakana kuonyesha kwamba mfano bora hajakopa. Kwa mwaka mmoja amekopa trilioni 3. 3 trillions. He is the president who have borrowed the most in 1 year. Kwa hivyo huwezi kutuambia kwa mdomo moja ya kwamba deni ni mbaya. Kwa mkono huu unakopa deni. That's what we are saying. Be consistent. Your word should match your action. Kwa hivyo kama unakopa, na hatukatazi kukopa sisi, tunasema wache uongo, usiwahadae wa Kenya. Sema kwamba tunakopa na tunapeleka kwa maendeleo. Mimi shida ambayo ninayo ni ya kwamba umekopa trilioni 3, 2 tunajua mahali ambapo zimeenda, 1 hatujui. Tueleze vile hii 1 imefanya kazi na tutakuwa na shida. Yeah. Na usichukulie ya kwamba kila mtu haelewi. Wengine tumesoma hiyo maneno ya kiuchumi. Njoo bring next time bring a KK mfuasi wa KK tuwe na debate ya kiuchumi so that you see now what we are talking about. Usisikize tu yangu, wacha waje waambie siku fulani mlikopa hii pesa, siku fulani mkakopa hii, siku fulani mkakopa hii, ukijumlisha ni trilioni 3. Sasa turudi upande mwingine, mmezitumiaje hizo trilioni 3? We would want such a debate.
Okay. Labda kuna hili swali ambalo napenda kuliuliza sana na napenda kuuliza watu wengi zaidi. Kwa mfano wewe hii leo ungeteuliwa kuwa mshauri wa Rais William Samoei Ruto. Unafikiri ni ushauri upi ungempatia?
Ushauri mkubwa ambao ningeshauri rais ni moja. Let's export more. Wacha tuanze kupeleka bidhaa zetu nje ili ya kwamba shilingi yache kuanguka. Shilingi inapoanguka hata ufanye namna gani, utapata kwamba una madeni mingi ambao hayakufanya kazi kwa sababu fedha zinalipwa na dola. Kwa hivyo mahali ambapo tunatakana kuwa tunazingatia ni vitu ngapi ambapo tunapeleka nje. Kwa kufanya hivyo, angusha bei ya petroli, angusha bei ya stima ili ya kwamba tupate bidhaa za kupeleka nje. Hebu tutafute soko ya bidhaa ambazo tunakuwa tukipeleka nje. Hebu kahawa yetu tuweze kuitengeneza yetu hapa, sababu kahawa yetu nje kilo moja ni 3,000, lakini ikiwa hapa tunaiuza kwa fedha ambazo ni za kupoteza. Hebu tufanye ile ambayo inaitwa value addition katika nchi yetu ya Kenya ili ya kwamba tusiwe ya kwamba net importers na hakuna kitu ambacho tunapeleka nje. Tukisasitiri shilingi, matatizo mengi haya yatafika kikomo. Lakini tunaposhindana na fedha ambazo zinaongezeka kwa deni na ambazo hazijawekezwa katika kuzalisha, bado tutakuwa na matatizo ambayo tuko naye.
Okay. As we went up the other day, the opposition leader Raila Amolo Odinga, he said that he's going to work with Kalonzo Musyoka for the 2027 presidential campaign. Okay, do you think that is right?
Working together.
Okay, unafikiria ni vizuri kimsupport kama awe rais?
Yeah, those are political bwana.
Na kuna wengine ambao walikuwa wanalalamika wanasema kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga Raudi hii support Kalonzo Musyoka kwamba haitakuwa vyema. Je, unaona Raila Amolo Odinga aendelee kusimama kwanza mwaka 2027 ama msupport Kalonzo Musyoka? Na je, unaona Kalonzo Musyoka anaweza kupambana na rais wa sasa?
Mimi pangu ningesema hao kati ya hao watu wawili they have been consistent. Watu ambao wana uzoefu wa siasa, wana international connection katika mataifa ya nje. Iwapo bwana Raila anaweza ona kwamba amuunge mkono Kalonzo, inaweza kuwa vizuri. Kalonzo akiendelea kumuunga mkono Raila pia ni vizuri. Yale ni mambo ambayo tunaweza tatua kinyumbani katika zile asasi ambazo ziko kwenye political parties kama delegate conferences na mambo kama haya.
Okay, are you being a member of Gema Society? Yesterday residents from Murang'a County, they were saying that I will quote them, you will lose in 2027 if you'll come with Gachagua as your deputy president. Murang'a leaders tells Ruto. Do you think that deputy president, the current deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, if he'll be the deputy president, okay, he'll be the presidential candidate, deputy presidential candidate 2027, he'll make President William Samoei Ruto to lose in Mount Kenya?
I don't know. I would actually encourage that William Ruto loses in 2027. So if that is the route to go, I would actually support. But seriously, what is the difference between, let's say, Gachagua and Ndindi Nyoro? Are they being used as Trojan horses so that we in the opposition think there is a war within KK? What is the difference between their policies? What do they stand for? That is what is important for the Kenyans now to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so kulingana wewe unasema kwamba kwa kweli ni
sioni tofauti ya bwana Gachagua na bwana Ndindi Nyoro.
Okay, lakini ukiangalia kwa kweli watu wengi wamekuwa kilalamika zaidi wakisema kwamba bwana Gachagua amekuwa akitumika zaidi kwa mambo ambayo huwa anajiita I'm a truthful man kama nitayaka into quote. Okay, kulingana na wewe, je, unaona ni kama anatumika ama ni ukweli kitu ambacho anakisema huwa kinakuwa ya ukweli?
Kiti cha vice chairman, hata kiti ambacho nimekalia ni kiti kibaya, kwa sababu mwenyekiti akiagiza kitu utafanya na pengine anaagiza kitu ambacho si sawa. Kwa hivyo hata Ndindi Nyoro sidhani atakuja apatiwe kazi na William Ruto na akatae kufanya. Kwa sababu ni wako kwa tiketi moja. Lakini mimi ninaposoma kisiasa, hiyo ni mambo ya Kenya Kwanza ambao tu ni ya kuonyesha kana kwamba huyu hana ushawishi na huyu mwingine anaweza kupata ushawishi. Lakini hata wewe mwenyewe unapotaka kuingia ndani zaidi, watu wa Murang'a na watu wa Nyeri ni wagani ambao ni wengi. Kwa hivyo si mchezo ambao utachezwa kulingana na vile ambao inasema. Watu wa Nyeri ni wengi na kwa hivyo bado watastiki na Gachagua.
Okay.
Hiyo ingine tu ni kujaribu tu kufanya mambo ya siasa ambayo pengine ni ile tu kujaribu kuchachawiza wa Kenya.
I have just received a message here and I think this is your question. I try to get his mind on the current leadership in Nakuru. He has been running for MP seat in Nakuru East, so he has a view. Get his mind on problems in Nakuru East and also bring the issue of insecurities, especially gang in Nakuru East. He has also in the matatu industry look for input on problem on the industry. In Jubilee, is Jubilee as a party joining the ruling party? Why he is not at the meeting at State House? At who went there? The future of Jubilee party. Also about Mount Kenya. Okay, I think you have got my question.
Yeah.
Is Jubilee okay? Why were you not in Jubilee? Hey. Okay, let me read this question. At he's also been in matatu industry.
Yeah.
Look input on problem in the industry. Is Jubilee as a party joining the ruling party? Why he is not at the meeting at State House? Who went there? And what's the future of Jubilee party?
Okay, number one, we've just said that Jubilee as a party did not go to State House. Okay, the other one is what are the problems in Nakuru town is.
Yeah, sure.
The biggest problem in Nakuru town is at the moment is insecurity. Insecurity is driving out investors. Once the investors go, there are no job opportunity, and the same problem now becomes cyclic. There are no jobs, there are no industries, and the population keeps on increasing. So the problem of insecurity ought to be sorted out and then return Nakuru to what it was. This was the headquarters of the Whites Island. It had institution, KFA, Pyrethrum, Unga, all those industries were actually employing a lot of young people from school. So fight insecurity, encourage investors, create employment, a conducive atmosphere for investment, and a lot of our issues will be sorted. Okay,
I think these questions were separate. Okay, I've been told that you're trying to run for MP seat in Nakuru East. Okay, in 2027?
In 2022, I was a candidate for Jubilee Party.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, what's your view? Are you going to run again in 2027?
Of course. Why not? I have grand ideas about my county. I was born and brought up in this town. I know this town more than a lot of politicians who've just come from outside. Why would I not run?
Okay. And
I'm not corrupt. I have not stolen anything from anybody. Why would I not run?
Okay. Nakuru East is one of the constituencies in Nakuru County, and there has been issues on insecurities, especially gangs in that constituency. How can you talk about these insecurity issues in Nakuru East?
I've worked in NGOs before, NGOs that deals with the demobilization of gangs. So, and I know the only way you can demobilize a gang is offering a better alternative, so that they quit what fits them and join something that is grand. Nobody wants to join a gang. They are forced into gangism. So if you offer better prospects, if their life become better, they are going to quit gangism without you having to kill them or without you having to jail them, or without you having to take, you know, to abuse their human rights so that you solve a problem. It is a systemic problem. It is a secret problem that must be sorted out systematically. Okay. It's not something you can wish away. It's not something you can pick a gun and say you are going to sort it. Okay, my director is telling me that I'm run of time, and I want to, as we went up, I want you, Mr. Ben, to your word to these people, MCA Lantern, Gatuso, and MP Arama. Yeah.
How can you tell them? We
gave you a yellow card the other day. We are waiting for 2 years. We've written to you, telling us to show cause why we should not cite you as having gone against the Political Parties Act and sections of our Jubilee Party. So, watch your steps, or a red card is on the way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, and asante sana kwa kuhudhuru kwenye studio zetu. Tumeshukuru sana kwa kweli, kuna mengi ambayo tumejifunza nawe, na tunajua kwa kweli tunaendelea kujifunza mengi. I will create another time so that I can have you, Mr. Ben, so that we can discuss more about Nakuru County and also an overview of the nation. Asante sana watazamaji wetu kwa kuwa nasi. Kwa kweli wanasema kimekuwa kipindi kizuri zaidi na tumejifunza mengi zaidi. Hadi wakati mwingine, mimi kwa jina nafahamika kama Daniel Kihoro. Tukutane tena wakati mwingine, kwa heri.